Hey guys, Todd here. Today I'm going to show you how to install the Ionic 3-inch Nerf bar on this 2020 Ram 2500. The tools I'll be using for this installation are a ratchet with an extension, 3/4 inch, 18mm and 13mm sockets, and a 16mm ratcheting wrench. Now make sure you're subscribed to our channel to stay up to date with all our latest content. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to start off on the driver's side at the very front, right behind the front tire. I want to first draw your attention to this very front hole. It might be covered up with a piece of tape like ours is. If it is, go ahead and pull that tape off. That's going to reveal an oval-shaped hole. Now, that's also going to be directly in line with our body mount bolt. Just to let you guys know too, this particular truck has a harness run along here. I did take it loose from the frame cup. It's no big deal. It just kind of gets in the way a little bit. For my purposes of showing you guys how to do this on camera. It's not necessary to pull it loose, but I want to show you guys that I did. Next, what we want to do, in our kit, we're going to find a bolt plate. Now, this does not have a nut welded to it. It is just a bolt coming out. Now, what we're going to need to do is get that bolt to come through this hole right here. The way we're going to do that is we're going to use our fishwire tool. This is how the fishwire works. What we're going to do is take it loose, and then we are going to run the fish wire through this hole and out this hole right here. Next, we're going to take our bolt plate and just kind of thread it into that fish wire like so. Next, hold on to the fish wire, and what we're going to do is put the bolt plate into the rocker panel. All right, now, once we have the bolt plate pulled through, what we're going to do is hold that bolt plate in place, and we're going to spin it off, spin the fishwire tool off of the bolt plate. Once our fishwire tool is off, we're going to take our plastic retainer with a smaller hole. If the hole is too big, get the other one because you got a second one in there. And this retainer is going to hold this bolt plate in place so it does not fall back down into the rocker panel. Go ahead and spin that on until it's nice and flat against the rocker. All right, next I want to go ahead and bring your attention back to the second hole back. We've got an oval hole here with a couple of hexagon-shaped holes here. Now, some trucks, there are some different configurations. Some trucks will have hexagon-shaped holes with threads behind them. Some will just have open hexagon-shaped holes. Since we have threads, we can go ahead and skip to the next step, but I want to go ahead and show you what you would need to use if you just have the open hole. Now, this is a bolt plate with a welded nut on there. If this did not have threads behind there, what we would do is we would slip this down into the rocker panel and then allow it to rotate down to where these threads were behind that hole. Then we would take our retaining washer with the larger hole and put it over top of that and hold that in place with the retaining washer and then move on to the next step. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take our driver's side front bracket. It should be labeled on the inside of the bracket with a DF stamped in there. That's for driver front. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift that up and slide it over top of our hole, of our bolt coming out of our forward hole. Next, we're going to take, and this is an M10 bolt, so we're going to take one of our M10 washers, flat washers and nut, and just go ahead and get that threaded on there loose for right now. We're going to go back and tighten it down later. And now we can go ahead and turn our attention to this hole back here. Now notice it is adjustable front to back. Next, we're going to take one of our M8 bolts with flat washer and lock washer, and we're going to go through that hole and get that in there just finger tight again for right now. And it is still adjustable front to back. Next, what we want to do is turn our attention to our body mount bolt. That's going to need to come out with an 18mm. All right, now I've already gone ahead and broken this loose with a breaker bar. We're going to need to take it all the way out. Now I want to give you a heads up too, a lot of times there will be a little bit of buildup of moisture up underneath here, and water and some oil a little bit sometimes will drip down. So just be aware of that. All right, next in our kit, we're going to have our driver's side support brace. If I flip that around, you're going to notice it's got a D stamped into it for driver's side. Now, this does go on one particular way. The open end of the bracket goes to the body mount bolt. The closed end of the bracket goes down here to the bracket, to the other part of the bracket. So what we're going to do is take our body mount bolt and go straight back up through there and get it started back in. And snug that up, again with the 18. All right, now we don't want to tighten this down just yet. We just want to get it nice and a little bit snug to where we can still move things around. Before we go any further, we need to go ahead and go back to the second bracket. All right, next we're going to follow the rocker panel all the way back to the very rear of the cab. What we're going to see is an oval hole here with a couple of hexagon-shaped holes here. Again, we have threads behind the rocker panel. If you do not have threads, that's fine. We've got you covered. Also, this hole might be covered up by a piece of tape. If it is, just go ahead and pull the tape out of the way. Now, in your kit, we're going to go ahead and grab one of those bolt plates that has the welded nut on there. This, again, is going to go through this hole. Now, if you did not have threaded holes here, if it was just an open hole, this would end up rotating down to where you have threads behind it, because we are going to use this and this as bolting locations. So because it does have threaded holes, we're just going to set it in place, slip it in, and we're just going to slide it down, but not to line up with that. And then we're going to take our plastic washer. This is a little bit larger than the last one we just used. This is the retaining washer that's going to hold this up against the rocker panel. And once that is in place, we can go ahead and grab our passenger's or driver's side rear bracket. And we're just going to slide it right over top of that bolt. Now, it is a 12mm bolt, so what we're going to do is use M12 hardware. We've got flat washer, lock washer, and a nut, and we're just going to put that on there finger tight for right now. And next we can go ahead and take our M8 hardware, bolt, lock washer, flat washer, and go through our threaded hole down below. And once that is finger tight, we can go ahead and grab our Nerf bar and set it in place. All right, now here is our driver's side board. We're going to go ahead and line it up to the hole in the bracket. In our kit, we'll also have, these are our largest hardware. This is a 1/2 inch bolt. So the thread is, or the bolt is 1/2 inch in diameter. We've got a lock washer and flat washer. We're going to go through the bracket and thread into the threaded hole that is in the board. And for right now, we're just going to get that finger tight. We're going to go ahead and repeat the same for the front. Once we've got them lined up, where the bolts are all lined up, then we're going to go ahead and finally adjust our brackets. All of our brackets get pushed up as far as they can go. Then we can go ahead and tighten down our brackets and tighten down the bolt to the board. We've got a 18mm here, 13mm here, and this is a 3/4. All right, now let's go ahead and tighten up everything on the front. All right, next we're going to go ahead and tighten down the front bracket as follows. This nut up here is going to be tightened using a 16mm. This is a 13, and this is a 3/4. Once we get this all lined up and tightened down, then we can also tighten down our body mount bolt to factory spec using an 18mm. Now on this top one up here, I do have to use a ratcheting wrench to get up in there. And once I get that wrench on there, I'll push up on the bracket and then tighten everything down. Now just repeat the same process on the opposite side, and that will conclude the installation. Guys, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. If you want to know more about the product, check the link in the description below. And as always, if you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online.